Today, I'm going to give you 3 potential reasons why you may be experiencing mystery health symptoms. And there's more, but I'm going to give you some of the 3 big ones and hopefully help you through this process, because you're probably like me. You were going along just fine. Everything felt good. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you just feel terrible. And maybe it could be brain fog. Maybe it's anxiety or panic like I was dealing with. Maybe it's gut issues. Maybe it's sleep. And you might even feel this sense of impending doom, or like you're dying, like something is just wrong with you and you just can't figure it out. It's like a switch went off. One day you were fine and the next day you're not. So I'm going to give you 3 potential reasons for this. And then I'm going to talk about some other more foundational reasons. And then also I'm going to give you what I think is one of the biggest things I did to get over those mystery health challenges that I was dealing with. So the top 3 things that I would say could be causing something like this. And remember, I'm not a doctor. This is not a diagnosis. I'm just telling you my experience here. But there are 3 things that could be some of the big causes. And those are Lyme, heavy metals, and parasites. Now, along with that, there are other things like viruses, and there are also things like mold exposure that tend to go hand in hand. And oftentimes what happens is your body goes from this state of being able to handle those things to almost not able to handle those things at all, almost overnight. And that's why you've experienced these mystery health symptoms that have popped up out of nowhere. Or maybe you got a tick bite you didn't know about and your body couldn't handle it. Or maybe you're being exposed to mold somewhere like work or home, and you don't even realize that you're being exposed to that mold. I had mold in a bathroom under a toilet, didn't even know it was there. I had a lot of mold exposure at work, Lyme disease, and then when you couple that with a fairly hard charging and somewhat unhealthy lifestyle, that's where you start to get problems. So if you're experiencing mystery health symptoms, I like to call them mystery health challenges, then that's a good place to start looking. And just remember that it's not usually just one thing. It's usually a combination of things. It's not just the Lyme, it's the mold exposure with the Lyme. It's the parasites, because your gut can no longer handle or keep them under control anymore. You have high heavy metals, and the parasites are feeding off heavy metals because that's what they like. So, switching up again here. So you have to stop this mindset that there's just one problem. Oftentimes, it's a multiple of things, or a multitude of things that's actually going on. Now, the other part of this is you need to decide, you need to do a little inventory of your life and see if you are doing all the foundational things that you should be doing. How's your gut health? Are you drinking alcohol all the time? Are you too stressed out all the time? Are you not sleeping enough? These things are going to compound the issue. We forgot diet and exercise as well. If you're not eating healthy, a lot of inflammatory foods, seed oils, or foods that can trigger anxiety in you, that's going to be a problem too. It's only going to be worse if your gut is ruined. That's the foundation part where I would start. And then doing things like I'm doing right now, getting out into nature, walking around, sunshine, getting grounded, cold plunging, red light therapy, sauna, all those things that are going to build you up. And then you can start to tackle some of those other potential issues, like targeting the Lyme disease, getting rid of parasites, eliminating the mold from your house, getting out of mold exposure, maybe doing some heavy metal detox as well. If you're watching this video, I hope that this helps, because when I was going through all this, the one thing that I wish was that there was somebody out there to tell me exactly what I'm telling you today. And I think that there is a path through this. So I just want to give you some encouragement to hold on and hang in there. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, and I told you at the beginning, I was going to talk about what I think might be the most important thing, and that is mindset. It's your mindset around your health. I know I've talked about this on the channel before, and you're probably like, yeah, mindset. But it was the single most important thing I did in getting rid of my mystery health challenges. And you'll notice I call them health challenges. I don't identify as any of those things. If you're calling yourself a limey, how do you ever expect to be anything but that? You're telling your body that's what you are. Stop identifying with these illnesses. Don't tell yourself you're unhealthy. Tell yourself you're healthy and you're vibrant. Now, there are certain things that you could do specifically to help you get through this. There's things like DNRS, which is a dynamic neural retraining system. Teaches you to recognize these thoughts and then to basically put them away and to stop giving them power. I think that could be useful. It could be powerful. It did help me a little bit. It was hard to keep up on it. Another thing that I did that was really helpful in retraining my mindset is a program called Saraset. And there are Saraset, I have no affiliation with these guys, but they've been incredibly helpful for me. They are a franchise, and you can probably find a location around you. And Saraset, sorry, walking through a little mud puddle here, was one of the most profound things that I did to change my health and get myself back to normal. Because what had happened when I was dealing with these mystery health symptoms was I started grooving these pathways in my brain that told myself that I was sick. And those things kind of build on themselves, right? So you start to think like all the time, everything is hurting you and you're constantly dying or whatever. So I developed these pathways in my brain that told myself that I was sick. And that's what my body expected. What my mind told it is what my body expected. Now, Saraset was able to help me get out of the fight, flight, or freeze state in my brain, and like the name implies, sort of reset my brain. And it was profound. After I started doing it, I noticed I started waking up early again, started feeling good again, started being motivated again. I stopped being worried about my health all the time and that something was gonna hurt me or kill me, right? So for me, Saraset made a huge impact. And if you don't know my story, a lot of my mystery health symptoms started one day when I had a panic attack. It sent me to the hospital. I thought I was having a heart attack. From there, I eventually learned that I had Lyme disease, I had mold exposure, parasites, heavy metals, all kinds of stuff going on. And I was able to figure out my path to get out of that. But again, the most important thing I did along that journey was getting my brain back to normal. And it is a bit of a traumatic experience going to the hospital thinking you're having a heart attack. I went in the ambulance, I saw my kids when I was leaving, and it stuck with me. And that traumatic experience created new neural pathways in my brain that needed to be retrained again. If you are dealing with mystery health symptoms, please remember, look for some of those big ones that I said, and then also start thinking about how you're thinking about your health and start retraining your brain in the process. I hope this was helpful. If you like this video, please give me a like or subscribe. I really appreciate it. It really helps the small channel grow, and I'll see you in the next video.